Metaphors of movement is quite a difficult sell, predominantly because it's not about outcomes. It's not about where we're trying to get to, getting to a better place, getting the life that you want, finding yourself somewhere different. It's not about that. That's an easy sell. Selling success, selling outcomes, selling a promise to people is really easy. Basically, I call it the golden carrot principle. Wave the golden carrot and go, this too can be yours, and people come flocking. I've got a bit of an aversion to that kind of stuff because my experience is most of that success is never delivered. At least I don't see the evidence of it, although you might know differently. What we're doing with metaphors of movement is we're building up where do you stand. We're finding what is your place in the world, what is your position in the universe, your place in life. It's all about finding understanding and knowing where you stand. This is why the logo for Metaphors of Movement is the feet. It's about at what point do your feet make contact with the planet, and what is the implications of that? What is to the left, what is to the right, what's in front, what's behind, and how far do those things extend in terms of your awareness? This is about knowing your place. Now, because I'm a therapist, so people tend to come to me because they're unhappy about something or there are issues. Most of the time, they don't like their place in the world. This goes to big chunk data. This isn't going down to individual symptoms. Where they stand, what they stand for, the place in the world isn't really bringing about the kind of stuff that they want. They might be incongruent, so they might find themselves in a position where in order to fit into the environment they're in, they're having to take on a false persona or a fake identity. So what we're doing is by finding out where you stand, we can find your position. And once you know your position, you can begin to work out the steps that you're going to take in order to change your position and find a better place in the world for yourself. Now, in order to take those steps, you need to know what direction you're going to go. Are you going to go forwards? Are you going to go with what's left for you? Are you going to do what's right for you? Are you going to go and explore what's in the background? Are you going to take lots of steps or just a few steps? Sometimes one step is all that's needed to change your position. So how far you're going to go is another one. So we have direction and distance, the quality of the steps, and of course the rate that you go, the momentum that you have. Is this going to happen quickly or slowly? Is it a continuum? Is it just happens that just once? Now, of course, the problem about selling outcomes is the assumption is where you are, not very good. The golden carrot, where it takes you to, is much better. And then you're done. Life generally in the West is perceived much more as a journey. So it's not like, oh, we take one step, we're done. No, it doesn't work that way. Outcomes are useful in so much as they can set direction. And people like to have one fixed direction. I won't let anything stand in my way. I will keep moving forwards. I will always do what's right. I'm going to explore what's left. And they keep going in that direction. Sometimes life is not as straightforward as we'd like it to be. Sometimes we have to change direction and go in these convoluted paths. Sometimes we have to come off the path, stick to the path, change the path, make our own path. Not all paths can be followed. Some paths are dangerous paths, some of them are lonely. Some of them are very popular. So the journey that we undertake is various. It's life itself, as opposed to, here's the destination, hey, let's go there now, and we're done. It's not very realistic. It's not how things work. Now, one of the things that's worth knowing is that when we change our position, and I've met a lot of people who are not willing to change their position. Essentially, they have the position of, things are tough, I don't like it, you make me angry, he upsets me, he annoys me. I'm not changing my position. I'm going to make them change theirs. I'm steadfast, I'm unmoving, I'm not changing a thing. Okay, fair enough. But it's a bit of an expectation to have everyone else change their position. Now, sometimes if we change our position, so I just changed my position slightly, I've got further away from this thing, and I'm now closer to this thing. Now, of course, what we're doing is assuming everything around me is static. These things are moving too. So by changing our position with things, we can change our relationship to things too. So I'm going to move closer to what's right for me, and I'm going to move further away from those things that are left. Or I can move forwards, which moves me further away from the things in the background. I can take a step back, which puts me closer to the things that are behind me, and so on. That's just assuming we're always orientated the same way. But look, this is currently what I look forward to. This is what's left for me. This is what's right. This is what's behind. If I reorientate myself now and I look forward to what was right or what was forward before is now what's left. What was right is now what I look forward to. What is behind me, what's in the background is now right, and what's left is behind me. So now my respective orientation to these things has also changed. So now I could go this way, for example. I can turn my life around. I can turn myself around. Now I'm facing what's left for me. Okay, I'll turn my back on what's right, but what I was looking forward to before is now what's right, and what's behind me is now left. Do try and keep up. I confuse myself. Or I can face up to my past. I can face up to all of those things behind me. Now, this is one of those things that's a quite unpopular kind of thing to do, because if I'm facing my past, I might be confronting my past. People don't like doing that because they've turned their back on what they were looking forward to, which is why often working with the past isn't very particularly happy or pleasing for some situations. But then, of course, what was left for me is now right, and what was right for me is now left. Now everything's back to front, and I may not feel very easy at all. So that might be going around too much. Now, the way we turn. I can turn round the right way. I can turn round to what's left. That's not what's wrong, it's just not right. I can do a complete turnaround, and I can move round in circles the right way or move round in circles the wrong way. So in terms of changing our position, we can change our position and our orientation. And the variables that we have with this profoundly affect the quality of the relationships we have with the things in our landscape. If you want to know more about this, it's the Metaphors of Movement course. There's 11 levels, it's quite a lot. The first 4 days, which is level 1 and 2, is the core material. That's the stuff that most people will do. The stuff after that is the much more advanced applications. Have a look on the website if you want to know more. There's lots and lots of things happening. We've got all sorts of events as well around the movement. This is the artistic project. Go to the movement section of the website, metaphorsofmovement.co.uk. And if you have any questions, get in touch. We're also on Facebook, Metaphors of Movement on Facebook. Just search for that. Lots of activity there. We've got several hundred active members, which is fantastic. Come and join us and see what we're doing.